Hey guys, it's Chris here with Off-Road Farm. Thought I'd give you guys just a short video how you pull an inner fender, and then after that we'll pull off this outer fender. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is in the engine bay, just make sure we've got all of our wires loose, nothing's attached to this inner fender, so whenever we get it loose it'll come out. There was a battery tray, let me find it here. There was a battery tray that was mounted here. So it's mounted to the fender and to the inner fender. Let's see if you can see it. It was also attached to the inner fender right there, and then down there if you can see that hole. So we had to take all that off so that we can get ready to take this inner fender out. Alright, so here in the inner fender, there's going to be several bolts. You can see some there. There's also several around the perimeter of the wheel well opening. They start down here, and there's several all the way around. And you're also going to have one or two up here, one there, and this one over here I had to take out whenever I took that battery tray in there out. Yours might also have this bolt down here. I think there was some sort of splash guard underneath there between the inner fender and the cab bottom. That's long gone, so I don't even have to take that out. It'll just come out with it. Just going to keep that in mind. If yours is in a little bit better shape than this, there might be some trim down there with it you got to take out. So let's pull these bolts out and try to wrestle it out of here. You will also have 3 bolts, and this is the front of the truck under the bottom, so don't forget about those. You got to get those, and then we should be able to get this out. So we have all the bolts out now. Now's the fun part. So if you try to get this back lip out, you have to pull it up just a little bit to get it over the lip of that wheel well. Then it'll slide down. And it should come out for you then. There we go, one inner wheel well. Alright, so now that we got that inner fender out, now let's work on this outer fender. So let me show you where the bolts are at. So pretty much probably everybody knows about this one. This is the one up top behind the door. You don't have to pull the door off. A lot of times you can actually just open the door and get a socket on that. Then there's also going to be another one right here. There's one on the back side at the bottom down here. We'll crawl under there in a minute. And where you need to pay attention is up front. There's going to be several of these. You have to pull this headlight out so you can get to them all. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a couple up there. I'll try to get some light on this in a minute. And then there's typically some on the bottom down here too. Alright, here's a much better shot of these. I got some light in here. So you have several of these bolts down through here, and then you have one way down on the bottom too. So those will be on the inside of the radiator area. And then these back here. I also recommend whenever you're doing something like this, go to Walmart, dollar store, wherever, get you a couple boxes of these cheap Ziploc bags, label everything, keep all your screws in, all your bolts. Makes it much easier whenever you're trying to find everything and put it back together. Now this truck has been in, looks like many collisions, or bumped a few things over the years. So this is pushed back. It's going to make getting these bolts out pretty hard. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this marker light. I think I can get on that top one now with a wrench. Don't know what I'm going to do with that bottom one yet. Alright, I've got all of these bolts up front loose. I left the top one up here because it's easy to get to, just to kind of hold this on until I get the rest of these loose. So now I'm just going to bust these top two loose. I'll leave one of these in, and then I'll go underneath the bottom here and get the one on the back side. Now one thing to keep in mind is a lot of times they will have these shims in here. So mine has one up here on this bolt up here, and then I believe it has one on the bottom down there too. We'll get to that one here in just a minute now that we got these two loose. Alright guys, so that's it. Inner fender, outer fender off. Pretty easy. Most of the bolts are going to be 1/2 inch. The bigger bolts are 9/16. I did have to use a screwdriver on the headlight and a 3/8 bolt to get the marker light out, so I could get to that bolt that was kind of where it had been bumped into something that's kind of smashed up against the frame. But really easy, didn't take me very long. If you liked the video, if you feel like you learned anything, please hit the like button. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Thanks.